Hello, hello, hello. My name is Temi Topel Lodo, and it's a great honor to, you know, come live, speaking to you live from the United Kingdom, and yes, live from the United Kingdom. Thank you so much for joining me today. Our conversation is going to be real. Our conversation is going to be frank. We're not going to mix words. We're just going to go straight for it because I believe it is time that we start speaking truth. That is the question that we're going to be asking today, and I'm hoping that you could help me. And the way you could help me is by liking this page, sharing this page, and actually telling your friends that we're live and we're going to be having a frank conversation. We're going to be looking at the parameters. This is not about you being a member of APC or you being a member of PDP or you being a member of APAN. It doesn't really matter whether you live in Nigeria or you live outside Nigeria. It doesn't matter if you are in Nigeria. And in fact, it does not matter if you're in Nigeria or you're a Ghanaian. Because if crisis breaks down in Nigeria, if Nigeria becomes a complete failed state, all the neighbors will feel it. They will feel the influence of both the rich, the poor, the good, the bad, and the ugly. Everyone will try to move away from that space. And then wherever they go, they will take their criminality with them. The ones that are bad people, the ones that are good people will start good business. The ones that are bad people will come in and train the ones that are not even expert yet. They will train them in violence. And that is why it is even in the interest of Nigerian neighbors that Nigeria does not fail. And the question we're asking ourselves is Nigeria a failed nation? Now, you have to forgive me, I'm not a politician. So I look at things practical. As much as I love President Muhammad Buhari, for one or two reasons, especially because of his immense contribution, to diaspora engagement and getting more diaspora involved in the Nigerian story, in the Nigerian, history, in the building of Nigerian nation. I believe that we we as Nigerians must make sure that Nigeria is great and Nigeria does not fail. And the question we're asking now is Nigeria a failed nation? For me and for a lot of my colleagues who will be joining me on this platform, we're going to be speaking truth to power. We're not going to speak because we love Buhari or we don't love Buhari. We're not going to speak from the fact of whether, we really believe that we owe anybody a duty, to be polite in our analysis. Rather, we're going to go deep down and actually hit it on the nail. So, in order to go down, hit it on the nail, there is a video I want to show you. It's multiple of wisdoms can be found even in the lips of young people. In fact, the Holy Book says that wisdom belongs to the young people. He said, let them come to me, for theirs is the kingdom of God. That was Jesus Christ on earth 2,000 years ago. I believe this video will more or less send a message, to the leadership in Nigeria, uh, a message to the leadership of Nigeria about, how to feel about Nigeria. And that is important because we need to know how to feel about Nigeria and what is happening in Nigeria. So watch this video and I'll be bringing in my guests because they are coming in thick, and I've got some surprise guests for you today. I hope the system works so that they could join us. So just bear with me. So just bear with me as we bring in this video that more or less gives us a perspective about how Nigerians feel with the that is actually affect life now. It's network is a bit. I don't know what is wrong with the network today. I don't know. Okay, pending when the video, proud while we're waiting for the video to come, I'll be using I'll be using 4 parameters, to judge whether Nigeria is a failed nation or not. And you need to bear with me. And if you have any questions, please like this page, share this page, let me know your thoughts and feelings about what I'm going to talk about so that we could actually take this to the next level. Yeah, my speakers are trying to join us and they will be joining us in the next few seconds. Let me try and play this video. I don't know why the video is not playing, but I like to play this video because I believe this video will do a lot of good actually with regard to some of the things I want to talk about. Yes, let me also use this opportunity to welcome one of my brothers that is joining us live from Nigeria. Uh, I'll- I'm going to bring him on board in a few minutes. Just give me a second, please. Bear with me. I'm going to change my position slightly so that I'll be able to, because I don't know why the system is a bit, I think I might be far away from my far away from my router. But let me play this video. I believe this video will more or less speak true to some of the issues that we're talking about. Few minutes into the program, pick up for the video who is actually waiting 3,000 miles away, for joining me. I really appreciate you. Thank you so much. I also have my brother Chidi also joining me right now. Let me go to you first, brother Lasukomi. What is your view? Is Nigeria a failed nation? What is your view on the topic?
Well, I don't want to agree with the fact. Good evening, first and foremost, and I don't want to agree with the notion that Nigeria is a failed nation. Nigeria has been okay and has been through a lot of other things. I think the problem we seem to be having now is leadership crisis. We don't seem to have a suitable leader or leaders managing the affairs of Nigeria as it is at the moment. And when you put somebody who don't have knowledge or experience of driving at the steering of a vehicle, and you now put them on the motorway, you know that it's going to be from one disaster to the other if adequate care is not taken. I think that is the situation that the country is facing at the moment. Uh, we have deficit of leadership, and it is so unfortunate that this is happening when the rest of the world is facing terrorism and all sorts of other crime. We are not feeling the impact of a leader in Nigeria at the moment. If we have a good leader that is doing the right thing, steering the country in the right direction, and then we still cannot work together as a nation, that is when I will agree that we are a failed state. Yeah, some people are agitating for a new republic, Yoruba nation, Biafra. We were not one nation before. It was a contract and amalgamation that brought us together. We can either step and move forward united, and if we can't go forward, there is no crime in us going our separate ways if we can do better separately. It doesn't look as if the marriage and the amalgamation is working well now. Our level of integration and diversity that made United States, United Nation, and United Arab Emirates what they are today is very, very low and appalling. So, like every marriage, if we can't go forward in it, I don't think there's any crime in us going our separate ways. Thank you.
Okay, thank you so much. I'm going to bring Brother Chidi in now, but I think my network has gone back to the normal side. So let me first play this video because I think our people will find it quite funny. Um, Let me bring in this video very quickly because I believe it more or less speaks truth to what is happening right now. So just bear with me. I'll just play this video for 2 minutes. Yeah, just bear with me. Just bear with me for 2 minutes while this video comes up. Yeah.
Mommy said, Joanna, where your jeans? I have packed this clothes, pack, so that we will run to the They were burning down houses, burning down their business, smoke, smoke. We were so scared. We saw, Mommy said, you are going to wear your jeans. Thought we are going to die. See, collect all the guns from everybody. Not just police and you, everybody. Just collect. Since they don't know how to use gun, just they're now using it like toy.
Okay, sir. Those kids said that the commander in chief of the armed forces should collect gun from everybody, since the police, even the police and the army are using it like toys. They said we saw a video of some people of a young boy that was saying, "Please calm down," to the mother. Please calm down. And calm down was the latest phrase as of that time. Now these ones are saying, collect gun from everybody. Maybe if the president won't listen to experts like you, he will listen to those young kids. Let me bring in Brother Chidi very quickly so that he can make a comment, and then thank you so much for joining us. I know it was a short notice, so I really appreciate you. If anyone that is watching us, please, you can like this page, share this page. What is your view? Is Nigeria a failed nation?
Well, good evening, first, and I think
Good.
it's very sad to say, but I think Nigeria is, if it's not a failed nation, it's very close to maybe what we would define as a failed nation. Because I mean, without going into all the academic definitions, I'm unclear as to what is actually functioning in Nigeria. The basics of what makes a nation no longer sustains in Nigeria. So the government does not have control of its territory. It does not protect its people. It does not provide basic services for its people, just much less advanced services for its people. It does not provide opportunity. There's very little sense of nationhood. I mean, I'm loath to keep saying the government, but I'll say the government, but also maybe the establishment or the political elite are very uh, keen to use whatever divisive measures they can in order to retain power. So that destroys, even the notional sense of nationhood. So if there's any criticism of the government now or of a government minister, for example, the Pantami issue, is no longer a rational discussion about, maybe it could be a rational discussion about forgiveness or recidivism or rehabilitation or even counter radicalization. But instead, it was turned into an attack on the North, an attack on Islam. The same with the last government prior to this with President Jonathan. Any kind of criticism of him was seen more as an attack on minorities, as an attack on the South, as an attack on the South, as an attack on Christians. The ruling elite is very, very good at using these tactics to divide us. So that defeats the notion of having a united nation, or with one united kind of national aspiration. It's always about your region. And even when you break it down into your region, you talk about the north. There's northwest, northeast, north central, or middle belt. You go into, let's even dive into the north. Even in the northwest, you've got disputes between the minority tribes, the Christians, the Muslims, the Hausas, the Fulanis, and all manner of little divisions, which those divisions writ large at the national stage, but even within the states, even within a state like my own, which is monoethnic, one language, one one tribe, you find divisions between people from this local government, or people from the north of the state or the south of the state, or even got to the point, I think it was in Enugu, where it was now arguing about Anglicans have produced so and so many governors. It's the turn of the Catholics, or whatever way around. It's a great tool by the ruling class to keep people at their throats and stop them from targeting them. And when you take away even that last vestige, so you can look at other nations that have suffered the same similar things. So if you look at nations that have been either conquered or under under pressure from war or from famine, when they've lost everything, all the physical things, their security, their excuse me, sorry, when they've lost their security and their all their basics, life support, they still have that myth, that kind of thing that keeps them going, their belief in their country, their belief in themselves. And unfortunately, I don't see how that sustains in Nigeria. We keep getting told we must be patriotic, we must support the country, but on what basis? The country will willingly kill you, leave you to die, and without any kind of comeback. So I think, whilst this might be a depressing kind of outlook, you know, within every threat there's an opportunity. So whilst this might be a dark period in Nigeria's history, we should also look that this might be the period where we can find, the real Nigeria, the true Nigeria, And to me, what we saw last year with the NSAS protest, with those young kids coming out, all of them coming together, not asking the question about tribe or anything like that. That might be the kind of inkling of what the new Nigeria could be.
Okay, you've highlighted quite a lot of things, and I think it's important. Let me ask Brother Olasukomi, what Chidi actually said, more or less seems to agree with the statement of the vice president that the elites, the silent elites, are the cause of the challenges in Nigeria. Do you agree with that assertion by the vice president, or do you
I,
think? And there are people that have argued that the lumping of all this blame at the feet of the federal government is unfair, because the local government should be held responsible for their part. The state government should be held responsible for their part in providing security, providing employment, providing all kind of the social net. You are in Nigeria right now, and we know that just few days ago, we know that what is happening in Borno State, these guys, these Boko Haram people were said they were distributing money to the young people to join them, 20,000 naira. Now, if Nigerian state cannot even give his own people money, here in the UK, and you've lived here in the UK too, if you are really very, very unemployed, we know people, we know there are still people that are homeless, but most of them have medical challenges, that attribute to that. But if you are really, really bad, government will come to your aid, give you food to eat, and that's why when they punish you for joining Al Qaeda, or punish you, people will know that there is opportunity for you not to join those groups, but you decide to join them. In Nigeria, the government don't do anything for you, really, if you want to be honest. So, what is your view on this, sir? And is the government, is it true that we could say that it is not right that the federal government should be blamed for everything? That in fact, we should be blaming the local government and state government for not putting in place appropriate security measures, to stem the violence that we are seeing that is ravaging the country. What's your view on that, sir?
First, I want to disagree with the assertion of the vice president.
Yeah.
The elites have been speaking, and most of them were silent. General
Hmm.
Obasanjo spoke, General T.Y. Danjuma spoke, uh, the former deputy governor of Central Bank spoke, and in all what they say has certain information that the government is supposed to work on. But somebody in the villa named everybody that speak for, against, or to the government a whaler. They say we are whaling. So now the whalers have stopped whaling, and I don't think they should have issue with that. Then it is not accusing finger or blame game at anybody at the moment, because the cancer of terrorism, the cancer of insecurity that myself and yourself has been speaking about for the past 10 years has just spread. We spoke to them when the cells of this cancer have not spread. You did a lot of interview across the sea. I did a lot on newspaper and everywhere. Nigeria have enough sons and daughters who can give their brain and their mind and their energy to prevent this from happening. What did they do with us? Did they invite us? Do they know what I have to offer? Now, well, unfortunately, with what is happening in the southeast, with what is happening in the northeast, north central, with what is happening all around the federal capital at the moment, Niger State is under the attack of Boko Haram and bandits. Kaduna State is witnessing its own kidnapping and abduction of students and killing of students. Nasarawa State here, Gwagwalada in FCT is under attack. So are we waiting for when the seat of power, which is the FCT, comes under attack? Because if we are saying it's not going to happen, we're deceiving ourselves. Nobody knew that Port Harcourt and all the surrounding states and Akwa Ibom is going to start going up in flame now. So something is going to snap very soon. We shouldn't deceive ourselves anymore. The cancer of insecurity have spread. The road is not safe. Homes is not safe. Place of worships are not safe. Place of medical care are not safe. The farm where we are supposed to get food is not safe. So there's going to be food crisis very soon. It's just a matter of time. So that is not the time for us to start saying local government, state government, or federal government. Everybody have failed. Every arm of government in Nigeria have failed. I want to be a little bit sympathetic to the local government, because shortly before all this happened, they are still battling for their own autonomy. Their money is not going to them. The budgetary allocation from federal government is not going straight to the local government. That you know that it is only central and the local government that makes UK what it is today. When are we going to get there? We've tested it before when local government was local government. Bursary were paid to students, roads were being made in local government, employment were created. But now we've killed them. I don't know the last time you were in Nigeria. Did you pay a visit to any local government? The local government is currently jam-packed with nuisance. Who doesn't even know what local government stands for? They only go out to do some sort of enforcement to make money, to make ends meet. When was the last time they paid their staff salaries? We have caretakers, managers all over local government now, and somebody in the state or the federal is sitting on their funds. So I don't want to point accusing fingers, but if the government refuse or fail to get something right in the next 30 days, Mr. Olodo, I think we should start preparing ourselves for the worst. I'm already talking to people, telling them not to travel, telling them to save money and buy food and keep in their house, because the indices is not looking good. The chances of you traveling and getting to your destination alive without being attacked on the road is bad. We just heard today that the Ministry of Interior, yesterday, that they have asked for all the airport to be on red alert because there is vital intelligence that they could be attacked. What does that mean? That means that the air is no longer safe too. We don't know whether the plane is going to explode on the ground, whether passengers are going to be fired at, by bandits, or whether the plane is going to explode mid-air. So there is fear at the moment, and what we are joking with and what we are toying with, the next 30 to 60 days is going to be a determining time for what Nigeria is going to be left with. You can see it on the road. I travel a lot on the road. You know that. So I just came back from Lagos now, all the way through the road to Abuja in the last 5 days. The indices on the road is not looking good. As an expert, I carried out my assessment of the road, of villages. And let me tell you, what I saw is a signal and indication of something terrible to come if adequate care is not taken. I don't know what our service chiefs are doing. The National Security Advisor, I don't know what he's doing. Let's forget about the president. He is old. There is limitation to what he can do. And there is limitation to what the Constitution allows him to do. Let's talk about the quality and the efficacy of people put in power. There's this funny thing going about that they are looking at the body language of the president. So it is the body language of the president that will not make you shoot at Fulani X-Men, killer X-Men, if they are killing people. It is the body language of the president that will not make you do the needful as the IG, as the chief of army staff, chief of naval staff, chief of air staff, national security advisors. What body language are you waiting for? Do what what the Constitution asks you to do, that you sworn by. And I want to also use this media to appeal to the president. Sometimes it is always good to quit the stage when the applause is the loudest. Mr. President, if you cannot do this or this, it is better to resign honorably and let somebody come and save the country that have given you a job, given you money, education, made you two-time head of state. The country does not deserve what is happening now from you. And let me just quickly chip this in. The social media is not allowing us to post the true picture of what is happening. The picture of how people have been turned into cows and being slaughtered and being slashed and being butchered into pieces. The Facebook are blocking it. It's against their culture. The Twitter is not allowing it to come up. Instagram does not want to see it. So there is a lot of horrible things happening now that is not at the view of the world. What the world is seeing now is very, very difficult to compare to what is happening. And I want to agree with Boris Johnson. There is no amount of collaboration or partnership that is going to solve Nigerian problem. What we need now is for Nigeria to get the right set of Nigeria to a round table for us to sit down and fix and solve our problems once and for all, so that we can maintain the status of African giant. Because the way we are going now, I won't be surprised if we become the dwarf of Africa. Thank you, Mr. Olodo.
You have said something, and I'm going to hold you to that, because let me go back to you. You know, when he said that the elites, the silent elites, are the ones, I wanted to agree with him a little bit, because we all went silent. I know that in your portfolio you have over 1,000 interviews that you have done over the past few years. You know, you've been on every major network. You have actually, and myself, and I stopped honoring interviews. I just stopped, because if I speak in the UK, people will call me, government will call me and speak to me. But we are talking of a nation where the plastic generals do not regard whatever you say. These are people that, Brother Chidi, for example, have been to Afghanistan. These are people that have gone to real war, handle real weapons, and they are telling you what you are doing is not right. All the indices are not good. And I've promised people listening and watching today that we're not going to speak big grammar. We're not going to speak big English. We're just going to go right and talk practical. Because we know that there's even the rumors that is going around that even a governor had to run away from an airport because they were being chased. And nobody has ever come out to dispute that argument or whatever because they say some policemen were even killed. Now, the Global Police Performance Index indicate that Nigerian police is the worst in the world. In the last 3 years, no police officer or no IG has actually come out to say, I will move Nigeria from number 35 to number 20 or number 15. I don't know what performance indicators the Nigerian police are using, in identifying or dealing with what they do. Uh, the Fragile Nation Index places us at the bottom. The Global Peace Index says that the cost of violence in Nigeria is about 10 billion. Cost of violence. All these people that are killing, there's no compensation. If you break your leg in the UK, but Alasukom, you will get compensation. Global Terrorism Index will remain on number 3 for the past 5 years, and yet all this trouble is happening. Is there a solution at sight to all the challenges ahead of us, in front of us?
Well, there is a solution. And the first aspect of the solution is that from the top, we must get the leadership right. We don't need a leaders that want to silence those who want to do things right, or a leader that we need to watch his body language before we do the right thing. So something needs to be done at that top. There needs to be a rejig, a change or change of policy, a shift in mindset. Then the last one is that you see, an average Nigerian needs to be given the power to protect themselves. One of the things, averagely in every Nigerian household, and do anything. It was in place before the police came.
Go ahead.
Are you getting it, sir? Are you getting me, sir? So
Yes, I'm getting you. Yes, I am. There's a network problem in Nigeria. The war have not even started. The network is not working. Imagine when the war starts, will the network work in Nigeria? So we know what the challenge is in Nigeria. We know what the problem is.
a then gone. He
And
may
the
have a
question we need
sword,
to
he may
start
have a
asking ourselves
spear,
is,
he may have a bow and arrow.
what is the
Why did we
solution
take all
to
this
the
away from
challenges
you?
ahead?
And we
That's the
are
question we
replacing it
need.
with
We
China-made
don't know
security doors.
what is the solution, what is going to happen, because it's just so bad in Nigeria at the moment. So bad. Let me try and show you this video. 'Cause I think that will shed light on what is happening. Okay. Let me just quickly go to Balachidi. Um, but Alaso Komi has more or less gone and explained a lot of things. The elites are not silent. They just decided to go quiet. I know that you've spoken on many international forums and on TV on these things, and we're all getting tired of speaking. Because we've spoken and spoken and spoken. In fact, I'll say that we wrote a document, because I'm saying it live, because I want anybody to challenge me. We put a document together and give it to Mr. President to say these are the solutions. What you wrote, a lot of recommendation on how to move things forward. We don't even know where that document is, if they've even used it. So it's not a matter of whether we did not give it. We gave it to him by hand. I gave it to him personally by hand. So we're all tired. We're tired of giving recommendation. That's why I don't honor TV interviews anymore. Except once in a blue moon. I'm not going to waste my time. Me and you were here in this country. Nothing is disturbing us. We don't have any problem. You are eating. Your light is working. Electricity is
That's
working.
good.
We pay our bills. We are okay. We pay tax, and we can challenge those people. They are challenging Boris Johnson as we speak right now. You know. But why is it that in Nigeria we can't challenge them? We can challenge the inspector. If we write to the commissioner of police in Nigeria, in UK today, and say we are not happy with some of the things they are doing, if they will give us audience and have organized audience for Nigerians here to meet with the minister for Africa. We've met with the minister for security. We've met with all kind of people, and that is we in a foreign country, and they are giving us audience. And then when you speak to our own people, they don't care. All they are talking about now, there is this problem, inferiority complex, that they believe that if it's not from abroad, it is not working. What do you have to
Mm.
say to that? Because they have a lot of Nigerians that have a lot of skills, yourself, so many people, and they are not making use of them. Why is it that we have this problem, this inferiority complex, that if it's not, if the if it's not bright, if it doesn't speak with your kind of accent, not like my own Nigerian accent, it doesn't know what it's doing. Meanwhile, you are the ones teaching these people what to do. We're teaching them. When we are with them, where they are calling us to say, Temi, can you do this? Help us with this. Chidi, can you do this? And yet our own people do not value us. The chicken is not honored in his own home. What do you have to say to that?
Hmm. I think you've more or less covered it. You've made the point, very eloquently. There's a significant amount of how what's the word? I'm trying to think of the word I'm looking that will maybe capture this properly. But there's just a serious issue in which not only is it that people refuse to take advice, it's not just that people don't know, what they don't know. They don't want to take advice.
I do apologize. There seems to be a chat speakers. We have about 3 speakers who are meant to come on board, but there seems to be a problem. There seems to be a problem with the internet of some of our speakers. The system seems to be quite bad today, so please bear with us. Bear with us. This is a very important topic. Is Nigeria a failed nation? If you're watching me right now, please like this page, share this page. Let people know that let people know that we are live discussing this, and stop us from discussing this issue. And if they are throwing the arrow from Nigeria, to stop us from talking about whether Nigeria is a failed nation or not, it's not going to work. Because when you look at the fragile nation index, Nigeria is high on the list. When you look at the global peace index, we are, I think, number 136 of 139 nations that have been what's the word now, that have been assessed. Is very, very bad. When you look at the global terrorism, we have consistently remained on number 3. People are dying every day violently. Talking of people dying in their sleep. We're talking of people are dying. Let me bring in one of our brothers that is for joining us 30 minutes, and the internet seems not to actually give us an opportunity, because we really appreciate your time. Thank you so much. what is your view about is Nigeria a failed nation, sir? I know I'm dropping you in the middle of it. All our speakers, every one of them are just being in and out. It looks as if there's some people in Nigeria touching our internet today so that we don't discuss this issue. That's why I'm hitting it here straight on the nail so that you could talk. You've spoken for more than 5,000. You have more than 5,000 views. You spoke on many national, international programs on security in Nigeria. You know, if even if they put all your books together, all your videos together, they can turn it into volumes of books on security. And yet it looks as if nothing is happening. The the vice president said that the elite have been silent. Definition of elite means people who are educated, people who have something to say. So I won't say that the security elites have been quiet because they are always on channels, they're always on Arise TV, they're always on this kind of platform talking about Nigeria, say this is the solution. This is what you are talking about now. And nobody is picking it up and saying, okay, Ambassador Roy, how do we move this forward? How do we do this? Instead, they're accusing armchair generals as irrelevant, as monarchs. What is your view on this issue, sir?
Well, it's just a pity because it's just like you see somebody that failed to educate his children, and he's your brother, and he keeps having more children, and he's your brother. You bear the same surname, and he refused to send his children to school, and you are busy educating your kids. You wouldn't know that you are on a stupid venture until that your brother's children that are not educated and not schooled now come to begin to kidnap your children and attack your children. So we were just looking at everything like a joke when politics became a game of numbers of hoodlums you can amass, a game of how many criminal activities you can get away with, a game of intimidating the government structures. You make the judiciary comatose. You begin to damage the hierarchy of the military, the discipline in the military, and you compromise the police, and you now generated an agency for criminal investigation, the EFCC and all those things, and you make it political. And you didn't know that all of these things that you were doing, you were just pouring flames into your own bedroom. And we were talking, as you have said, we'll go and visit so many big men, we will meet so many people, we were raising views on how, and you know what happened, what's annoying me, Olodo.
Yes, sir.
All the security practitioners, the private security people now begin to harmonize, to synchronize. We now have African Security Forum. I've not met GD. I've not met so many of them. Even you, I think once or twice we have met. But we
Yeah.
share information, we argue, we disagree to agree. So we come out with sound resolutions. But the people we are talking to, they are deaf and they are dumb and they are blind. Why? Because the ears that they have has been generated into what only grants access to issues that will bring illegal and illicit money, what can generate vote counting that cannot be ascribed to any civil society. And gradually, we thought Abuja was a safe haven. So all the local government chairmen, they bought houses in Abuja. All the governors, they bought houses in Abuja. The MI, the Obas, they have houses in Abuja. Now Abuja is surrounded. The next thing they are doing now, they are all running to Dubai to go and buy houses in Dubai. Go and buy houses in heaven. Go and buy houses in hell. It will meet you wherever you are. Why? Because like 10 generations ahead of Nigerians. They have been criminalized, they have been radicalized, they have gathered wrong ideologies, like 10 generations. 10 generations. And all these children that go and look at schools, you will see cultism in secondary schools, primary schools. You will
I
see
was surprised.
prostitution in primary schools, secondary schools. You will see drug addiction in primary schools, secondary schools in Nigeria. In Nigeria, where the vice president is a professor. In Nigeria, where the president is a retired army general that have served as a military head in Nigeria. You will see children of, now they are going online. Now you will see videos online of little children, 7 and 8 years, practicing pornography in this country. And if you look at the last election, you will see during the electoral campaigns, you will see touts carrying guns, breaking bottles during election. The candidate is on the podium, he's talking. And the policemen, they have been made helpless. Unfortunately, gallant police officers that Nigeria is supposed to have, with the kind of intelligent charisma that Nigerians are. Everybody have been twisted, handcuffed, and locked up in a dungeon of frustration. I don't know. You see, I don't want to preach violence, and I don't want a situation where people will think the caliber of security professionals we have are trying to induce people into violence. I don't want people to think that there are intelligent ways to interrogate these vices. You can now see old men that cannot even sit down and count a bundle of money, deciding how much bullion vans are moving cash left, right, and center, and the police and the military cannot even get quality training centers, cannot even get access to intelligent instructors. In the police college now, they're also teaching how to collect nguje because there are archaic instructors there. The curriculum is ancient, and people will expect them. You see, I've said it that before June, 2 or 3 governors will be kidnapped, and the state government will be negotiating on their behalf. And you will see obas are being kidnapped now. Village heads, royal fathers are being kidnapped, are being killed. And the Abuja they think is a safe haven. They will be shocked. Ex-presidents will be kidnapped. Why? Because they have dilapidated all the mysticism that, oh, a police officer is coming. Oga, don't arrest me. It's gone. Policemen are being roasted. They are roasted and eaten live on viral videos. Do you know the kind of trauma that we cause? Soldiers are being raided at roadblock now and killed like rats. Soldiers. Barracks are being marauded. Strongholds are being penetrated with decoy. Look at the last one, a decoy. You want to tell me that if a military vehicle is coming, I don't have any intuition. I don't have any scouts on the road, even on top of trees. Those days we used to climb trees. Those of us that were snipers, you would climb tree in case something is coming from somewhere. You pick the leader among the attackers or the invaders. Now you want to tell me that they are in a stronghold like that. There are no intermittent covert checking points where somebody is radioing to say 1 vehicle just passed through now, 2 vehicles just passed through. No hidden lookouts, outposts. You tell me that they came on decoy and killed up to 40-something army officers. Even in Liberia, that cannot happen. Even in Sierra Leone, that cannot happen. Because we charge through and we will show the might and the vigor of a Nigerian soldier. Now you hear, I have colleagues that are dying like chickens. Now we will start to generate funds to go and pay their school fees because government don't have anything for Nigerian veterans. They don't have anything for Nigerian veterans. And if Nigerian veterans are not loyal and disciplined, do you know the population of skilled, dangerous people that will be among all these hoodlums and miscreants? Even the secret people that are shooting in the east. I was just thinking, I said, God, let it not be my Nigerian veterans that are among these guys. Because the Nigerian veterans, they are supposed to sign a debarment allowance. Debarment means you cannot use your skill against the country. Nobody has been paid that money, that debarment allowance. So I'm free to use my skill against anybody. And they are sitting comfortably. They cannot even pay salaries. Well, Temitope, I'm sorry, because this is the way I feel. And I think we have been abused to the point that the abusers are facing the people they use to abuse the system. So for some of us, we are just spectators. And we will continue to look because losing our lives, threats to our lives does not mean anything to us. But what about the innocent tax-paying Nigerians? What about Nigerians that are innocent taxpayers? What about Nigerians that have staked their life? They have invested in this country and they are aged now. They can't go to any other country to go and start doing any other thing. I have close to 700 staff in Nigeria. I'm a retired lance corporal from the Nigerian Army. And my pension is 30,000 naira, which my cleaner salary is more than that pension the government is paying me. So my driver salary is more than my pension. And you are telling me that I am not seeing the collapse of a country? It's sad. It's
Sir,
sad.
before I bring in Brother Chidi, I want to mention something to you. Because I want you to, I love the way you are speaking truth to power. Because this is what I do, and that's why many people don't really like me. Because I just say it, I say the truth the way it is. 'Cause I don't need any favor. You just mention it. Even the pen, even the dog in Asu Rock will not survive on a 1,000 naira food a day. Because that 1,000 naira for 30 days is 30,000 naira. The dog, the Alsatian dog, protecting Mr. President will not survive on that as a foreign dog. So the question I want to ask, sir, because I'm really concerned, is that how can a super camp be overrun? How can a super camp be overrun? How can a plane lose for technical reason go down in within the Nigerian territory, and Boko Haram will stand on that plane to make analysis, and nobody will say, you know what, for the next 7 days we will show these people the amount of power we have. We will blow this, we will throw so much power into that area that they will know that people are there. When I was growing up, sir, because I want to attest to what you say, I went to a military school, which is now called Command Secondary School in Sokoto. And I know that even as Sokoto is not even one of the biggest police military formation, I saw a lot of things there that made me know that these guys are powerful. They can deliver whatever needs to be delivered. How have we gotten it so bad that people can come into a military camp, kill everybody, and then disappear into thin air, and nothing is done about it? How can 43 officers lost their life and the flag of the presidency is not dropped? Just two in the UK, two soldiers lost their life in Paris. They would drop the flag for them. And then our House of Assembly are talking about setting up a 40-man committee. Mr. Chidi is here. He's going to speak after you quickly. Me and him, we can't count how many times we've been to the House of Commons here. We are not white people, but they will bring us in. We will organize events. We'll go there and go and host event there. They don't collect a penny from us. Once we tell them we want to talk about security, they will open the door for us, give us one of their best rooms. We can talk about security. They will come and open the thing for us. We write our recommendation. We give it to them. They put it in their library. Why is it that it's so difficult for Nigerian legislators to say, Ambassador Roy, Mr. Sheyi, and all the others, Oh yeah, come and talk about how things could move forward and let's record it.
See, Temitope,
Even the
we
event,
are
the one
done.
that they did last year, that they
We are
brought
done
themselves
with
together
trying to. Can you hear
among
me,
themselves,
please?
the president did not even look at the document. Just say one or two things about that, and I'll bring Mr. Chidi in. Yes, sir.
Okay, we are done. We are done with
We
trying
can
to
hear you.
camouflage the situation. Okay, the service chiefs that left. The question I'm asking is, what kind of structure did they leave behind? What kind of
Hmm.
permissive opportunity for people to seize our intelligence and disseminate to our adversaries? How many moles were left behind? Because now the military and the agencies, they are like political party. So as this
Hmm.
chief of army staff, chief of naval staff, as they are living now, how many moles did they leave behind to say frustrate these people so that they won't say, okay, after we left, the thing is working well? Because in Nigeria, that is the structure. If you see one political party in power, instead of the other one to say, okay, you have won, so that I will just be criticizing you from a distance. No, they will go and start creating anarchy. Nigerians will be using money to create crisis where people will be killing themselves just for one party to look bad before next election. This bloodletting, that is what has entered the army now, I'm telling you. Because so many things we are seeing now means we are being sold out. There are people selling information in our military, selling it for raw cash. Okay, look at the terrorists that they said they take over places now. They are inducing people with money. Now,
Yes.
our naira rate has gotten to where if you pump in dollar into anything, you are financing it big time. All these generals that we have that could not live and they gave them ambassadorship, what did they use to buy that free fall? And what did they leave behind to also truncate the opportunities of these other people that came aboard? You didn't hear what that chief of army staff was saying. He said, I don't know where the weapons are. I don't know what they bought. I don't know. You will see the body language that he met a lot of drawers with keys. There are a lot of assets they don't have. There's a cabal within that is ready to truncate any military action. The army needs purging. And you know, the funny thing is that the officers that are dying and the ones that they are deploying, they are those ones, everybody knows what is happening. The videos are online. So nobody will come and tell me, Ambassador Roy, what are you saying? Take me anywhere. I will generate the evidence. The videos are online when soldiers are saying that they were killing Boko Haram and Nigerian troops were shooting at them. We have seen videos where Nigerian soldier will say there is compromise within the ranks and he will be locked up. Where is that soldier that went online and was accusing Buratai directly? Where is he? Where did the case end? And we think all these things are not going to come back to roost in our very bedrooms. Well, let me not take up too much time because I know Ogachidi will come and give us some better this thing, because the way I'm seeing it, it's a shame that we have generals in the army that cannot sit down and actually, the work of a general is to strategize. You sit back and you look at all the triangles and see how we plug one or two holes and route out these guys. But the only thing they know how to do is how to amass wealth for themselves and join the politicians to create molds within the army and create anarchy within the army. The next person that will come in again will be facing the same problem. We have to purge the military. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Let me bring in Brother Chidi now. Um, from one military man to another military man. That's quite interesting. You heard his lament. You know, I've never seen situation where people lament this bad. Now, I went to a military school in Nigeria, so I know I lived among military soldiers, and you have the highest respect for them, especially when they're playing. When the music is playing, pa pa ram pam pam pa ram pa pam pam pa. I know your son is disturbing you. That's good. Now, what is your view? What is really happening? From what you have seen, Ambassador Roy has given his lamented about the fact that they are not even paying them their dues. There's a lot of, so if you say you want to, like we said, bring in all these guys are sitting down there, they're looking at what is happening. I say, is this the military I joined that I signed on for? That why is it that you can you can get it, you can go into a military formation and sack it, and nothing can happen? You know, what is
Yeah,
your view on that? What is happening?
I think Ambassador Roy has kind of covered a lot of the points and the key issue. Sorry, I'm multitasking here. Sorry.
Yeah, no, no, it's
The
good. It's
key
good. It's
issue
good.
that
It's good.
we got is that when you look at everything that is coming down, we can
Mm,
trace the rot all the way back to the 60s, and the first coup was a disaster. Whether you say they had a good intention, which I believe they genuinely, maybe they had a good intention, but the way they kind of they dealt the things. That's the way they dealt with the situation by killing, so many people. By killing so many people, they caused a lot of problem.
yeah.
Now, after that, now with the follow-on coup, you had you had the second coup, the revenge coup, and then the massacres that followed from that. And during the Aburi accords or the Aburi discussions, there was something that Colonel Ojuku said, which is very prescient. He said that the way that you, I mean, I'm not quoting directly, but the way you have something now that you have now made go on the head of state, when I think it was I can't remember the name of the guy, Ademalogu or somebody like that, who was the senior, who should have legitimately taken over, but you've now handed over to this. He said that this will create a problem where tomorrow a corporal will say he's in charge, kill his commander and take over, and that's the breakdown of discipline. Now Nigeria has kind of smoothed over that, but in reality, that's what we've been having. The discipline has been breaking down. People have been more focused on what they can get out of it than anything. And now you've got this situation where we have been fighting this war for 10 years. And now
Yes.
you notice I don't even write articles again, because I don't when I want to write, I'll look at my old articles, and what I'm trying to write about is what I wrote about 10 years ago, is what I wrote about
Yeah.
5 years ago, what I wrote about 2 years ago. I was writing about security on the highway years ago. How come nobody in the space of 4, 5, 10 years has been able to change, has been able to improve security? How come nobody has been able to say we're going to solve this problem with in terms of bandits and everything? The reality is that no, the people in charge don't really care. That's the key thing. The people in charge are safe. They have security, so they're not bothered. So you look at Minok. I've seen the video for my swap. I've seen the satellites of the base. How can such a base fall? It's a single road. They did. I thought, okay, maybe they came through the trenches, or they came through the single road. How can you not cover that with fire? How can you not destroy them as they're coming in? As Ambassador Roy said, how do you not have observation posts? How do you not have
Yes.
standing patrols? How do you not have lookouts that will give you a chat and say a convoy is coming? Are we expecting a convoy? No. Stand to. Everybody stands to. Without going into too many details, there's a reason why, people, we didn't lose any of our camps in Afghanistan. There's a reason. It's not technology, because as I said, that technology really came down to nothing. It was really just the basic little thing. Your corporal, making sure that your weapon was clean, making sure you had your ammo, your sergeant going around checking everyone in their position, the officers citing your position, leading from the front, and everybody knows their job. So there's nothing like Oga has not done his job and everyone will sit down. It's your life. Look at, there's just things that don't make sense to me that as of now,
Can I
2021,
can I
a
ask you can
base
I ask you a question?
with BTR. Yeah.
Can I ask you a question? There's
Yeah,
report
please go on.
of soldiers. There's report of soldiers saying that Boko Haram are using, they are using drones to spy on. They can see the drone in the sky, and nobody said, okay, use this big gun to shoot it down or whatever. They are even observing them, and how can, and the military don't even have their own drones. I just talked about a plane that went down within Nigerian zone, and yet you can't even get there to go and pick the bodies of the people. They kept quiet on that anyway. They didn't even
Hmm.
talk about the
Yeah,
body
to
of
today,
the
we don't know what has
pilot.
happened to them. That's it.
Yeah.
To today, have they recovered the body? Have they recovered the crash site? And Boko Haram, yeah, they must be. If they are not using drones, I'll be very surprised. I've heard that report as well. We've not seen any video, and curiously, we've not seen any footage like drone footage, which I will be expecting to see from ISWAP. Drone footage, because that's great propaganda. But maybe they're still kind of trying to keep that capability a little bit quiet. But I've heard that many times, and I wouldn't be surprised. It wouldn't make any. It wouldn't be unusual. These things are relatively cheap, very easy to get, easy to operate, and they give you a great advantage. And it's something that a country like Nigeria can easily say every single outpost, every single super camp will have 2 or 3 little handheld drones, and we're just
Yes.
flying them around looking.
Our kids
Simple
are
things.
using it here for 99,
For,
99
for,
pounds, for God's sake. Nigeria will
to
have to
play.
look. It has to be about 1 million for
1
them, or
million,
2 billion in it,
that
so
will
that they
never
can
work.
they can collect all their money.
But the key thing that we need to focus on is that and this is what I'm saying, Ambassador has hit the nail there, in that the things that is about your tactics, how you use your forces. He was saying it, when as a sniper, you get to the high point, you'll observe, you'll be calling in. Many times the sniper doesn't even need to fire. All he's doing is he's observing. He's calling in artillery. He's passing on information. That information is enough for him not to even have to use his weapon, because everybody else can get into position. But you look at the videos from ISWAP and you see a position has fallen with a tank, a main battle tank, an armored vehicle, artillery pieces. And you look at the artillery pieces, they fired maybe 4 shells. So what were they doing? You have trenches. Those trenches, the purpose of the trench is not to stop you. A trench will not stop somebody attacking. It will delay you. And the purpose of that delay is that you don't hit them with the artillery, you hit them with your firepower. So what happened? What's happened? How do you say something is a super camp and it is falling so easily? And even upon everything, how do you lose your armored vehicles like that? Even those armored vehicles should be what, if you're going to retreat, you should be using your armored vehicles to retreat. They should be covering your
You should, yeah,
withdrawal.
yeah,
So
because
how
that's
so
what
how
we've
does this
seen in
happen?
films. You use it to withdraw. You know, many have said
But
that if a super camp can fall, there's nothing stopping the presidency falling. No, many have said it.
I've said it, and I've
Uh-huh.
said it, and I said, please mark my words. I can't remember the platform that I said it on. Write it down, screenshot it. Within 12 to 18 months, you'll be seeing proper attacks in and around Abuja. Like you'll be seeing what you are seeing now in Owerri happening in Abuja. People coming in and attack, because what we don't understand is how hollow our state is. We talk about the southeast. Let's be real now. You talk about the southeast. Everybody says, "Oh, the southeast is under military occupation." The southeast is not under military occupation. You can overrun the south. The southeast has no military facilities. There's nothing there to hold the place down. Abuja that is, maybe raising shoulder because of Brigade of Guards. What can Brigade of Guards do in a city the size of Abuja? If I decide to go and launch an attack around the outskirts of Abuja, coming from the east, the north, and the west, you've deployed all your troops, and then I come from the south. What do you want to do now? Where do you want to get troops from again? When Kaduna is already locked up, you're going to start dragging guys out of NDA to come and fight. We have to start being realistic. That and this is what I'm saying. The complete lack of sense of urgency from the leadership, where they don't even seem to have the body language that something is happening, that this is a crisis. Where what should be happening right now is there should be. I mean, I'm very loath to say state of emergency, because the state of emergency in Nigeria will mean let's start locking up anybody who criticizes us.
Yeah,
But you need to be able to say, listen, we are in a crisis and we need to do certain things. And we need to, and when I say we need to do certain things, what I mean essentially is that the leadership needs to be able to look inward, look at themselves and say, we as a leadership, we need to make a few sacrifices. We need to make a few, so if there's just little things you can do. Somebody was saying, "Oh, shut down Parliament, shut down this, shut down that." I don't see the point. But let them all say, "Okay, we're going to cut our salaries, and whatever money we save is going directly um, to the armed forces or to the police, or we're going to cut, we're going to cut the cost of governance. We're going to cut out some of our staff, and then the money saved will go to be to either a compensation kind of fund for ex-servicemen or something like that. There has to be, the leadership has to show now that they understand this is a problem, and it's not a matter of talking. It's a matter of okay, and they amongst themselves have to maybe say, okay, let's declare a truce. Let's say for the next 2 years, up until the 2023 election, up until, let's say, whatever, if the election is in November, up until July of 2023, all these are our games. We're going to stop it. There'll be no more thugs. There'll be no more this. There'll be no more that. Let's just get this country on an even keel. Because what I believe is the plan now is they will definitely most likely bring in mercenaries. I think they are going
Yeah.
around now. They've said this thing about I'm calling the Americans. They'll go and bring in mercenaries and pay a few hundreds of millions or billions to bring in foreigners, but they will not use that time to build up the military, to build up the police, to get us ready for what comes next. They'll bring in the mercenaries who will secure do some things, do some magic. They will, will have the normal praise singing of how great everybody they are, how they've saved the day, and then the mercenaries they'll have the election. Mercenaries will go, will be back to square one. The problems will start again. It's just a depressing situation all
I
around.
I wrote I wrote a book some few years ago, as far back as 2004. I mentioned and I listed a lot of things that could be done to keep our school safe, and I also talked about super school. I know you also attended that event that was held in parliament where we talked about school security, and it just surprised me that all those things, all those talk, even the book is live there on Amazon for anybody that wants to see Nigeria's school security. I wrote a book called Family Emergency Plan. I talked about how to protect yourself against attack in airports and all those kind of things, and it looks as if nothing have ever been done in Nigeria. I just get a bit so worried. The question I want to ask you is that I recently talked about just about 3 months ago, and I know a lot of analysts have been talking about it, that all these um, hard to reach communities, all the hard to reach communities that we have, where it's difficult to get there. That if we do what they did in the First and Second World War, where when they can sight an attack from afar using a military telescope from a tower. They can actually blow an horn. They call it a community arsenal that blows boom, and everybody can go and hide and things like that. I can see that a lot of people are now talking about it because I talked about it 3 months ago. That all those communities, they could have that. They could have a direct telephone or direct line, a satellite phone that they could use to call for on distress. Nothing have been done, even though it's on air in newspaper. What do you think are other solutions that we can give this government that is not listening to anybody really? Because we've got to that point now.
The problem though is that we can give as many solutions. Like everything you said now can be implemented. It can be implemented today. It's low tech. You're not spending
Yeah.
billions. You don't have to call in foreign
Yes.
experts. It's just there.
Yeah.
You do it. You maintain it. Other countries have way. All those little villages and outposts. You can have little high frequency radios or UHF radios that you can use. Give it to one person there. They're calling out. You have little patrols all over the place of villagers. Whenever you see anything, region was every little thing you can do is there. Is doable. It's not that expensive. It's not that difficult. It just needs willpower. So the only advice we can give at this point is, it's actually beyond even giving the Nigerian government advice, because I don't know if they genuinely want advice. Like I said, I take the Pantami issue. I mean, I mentioned that not because I want to jump into the whole Muslim Christian thing. To me, that's a bit redundant and a bit pointless. My point is that for me, I looked at that and said, even if Pantami was my party man, like my guy, and he had said all these things, and I wasn't stressed about it, you still have to bear in mind that, let's say, okay, yeah, let me turn it around. Let me say Pantami was a Christian I'm not that religious. I'm not religious at all, to be honest. But if Pantami was a Christian, maybe we were both born again Christians, and he had been saying horrible things about Muslims, and he wants to kill Muslims, or is happy when Muslims get killed. Rather than, and then now he turns around and says, "Oh, he has changed." But I know that there's a lot of born again Christians who think like that, who want to kill, Muslims, whatever, just for the sake of this argument. Rather than turning around and saying everybody is a whaler, a hater, or anti-Christian or anti-South, the best way to do it is to call Pantami out, put him in a TV studio, and let him talk through his journey. Let him say, "This is what I used to feel. I felt it because of this, this, and this. Okay, now at this stage, something happened to me that made me change my mind. Whatever is the reason, whatever your road to Damascus moment is, where you decided you are wrong. You make that statement. You talk to people, and it's a powerful message. If Pantami, a Salafist preacher, someone who had a reputation as a hardliner, can come out publicly and say, "I've changed my mind. This is what changed my mind." You know, look for the same triggers in your own life. How many people are going to turn from that path? It's a brilliant way that
Thousands
the
will have
government
been
could have.
affected.
Exactly, and and it's a brilliant way that the government will first and foremost kill all the arguments, because you can prove now that the guy has reformed, and you say, "Well, look at the good we're doing. We're now convincing other people to come away from that way of matter of thinking." But that's not it, because any challenge, however innocuous, is considered an attack on them. Which is why people like us are not popular. We're not, nobody's going to listen to us, because anything, we're not there saying, "Ranka Dede, well done, sir. Your haters, it's your enemies, it's willers." We're saying you're doing wrong, but this is what you can do right. We're very constructive critics. I would say, we might, at least thank God, my mouth, my mind. I don't hide my mouth. So I don't hide my mouth, but at least when I will say whatever I say, I'll give you something constructive, something to build upon. And if the government can take away their thin skin, take away their kind of feelings of, I will never challenge anybody in the government. I'm never going to be a governor. I'm never going to be a senator or a president, anything like that. I will never enter politics or anything like that. People like me are just here to, if you give me this job and say, "Chidi, go and solve this problem in the northeast. Go and solve this problem in the northwest." That's all. We're practitioners. Give
Yeah.
us a task and say, "Let's go and solve this problem." That's where we want to put our head and put our knowledge and put our work. No one wants. I'm not interested in anyone calling me excellency. Just give me a task. Tell me to go and solve this problem in the northwest. We'll
What
solve it
what
for
is
you.
your view? What is your view? Can you imagine that people are being given less than £40 by Boko Haram to join them, and the Nigerian state cannot even think, okay, let's go into these communities, help them, bring them out of poverty, because we know this is what these guys are doing. £40 is what Boko Haram is using to buy these people's heart and soul, because they are in so much poverty, and yet the Nigerian government cannot do anything to support. One of the arguments that have come from one of our brothers is that anyone over the age of 18 who has not worked for a whole year, government should take them on board and say, you know what, we're creating a big farm, and you're going to eat your morning food, night food, evening food. We're going to train you for 6 months. You're going to sit in the farm, eat good food, and train you to become an agriculturist, so you have a certificate. You can become a tester, you can become a coding specialist, you can become a agriculture engineer. Bring people together and create kind of hostels and put them in thousands, and be paying for them. That if only we can do that, we'll be able to resolve it. Instead, they are saying we want to remove 100 million people from poverty, and yet they are not working with state government. And people said, you have a citizen, but is the state that have the indigens, and it's the state
Mhm.
that you are meant to be working with. You are creating paper exercise. There is no way you'll be able to do it. And why are you bringing it now, 2 years to the end of your presidency, and say, I'm going to remove 100 million people from poverty, when you know you are not even going to remove 5 million from poverty?
Then
What do you
this
have
is
to
the
say
this is
to
the
that?
problem. This is the problem, in that there's so many ways you can. I'm not saying that will solve the problem. But you
No.
reduce the problem, because everything you're doing is about reducing problem. If we to speak to like Ambassador Ra and everything, when you're talking about weapons, people like talking about weapons. Oh, we need this tank, we need this. It's not about the tank and the gun itself. It's how you use them, and in the layers, the way you use them. You use, yeah, for example, if you're defending your airspace now, you have your aircraft flying high. If you want to avoid anti-aircraft weapons, except for the really big ones, you just fly very high. But the way you counter that is you have another weapon system. You bring your own fighters to bring them low. Then you hit them with your missiles. And if you dodge your missiles, you hit them with their guns, with your long range anti-aircraft artillery. If they come closer, you hit them with your short range. So it's all about layers of different things that you use to solve a problem. So if you're talking about, so a big problem we have is a huge amount of young people in Nigeria, huge amount of young people with no hope, with no job, with no prospects. We that are maybe from the south, from the cities, we know the problem in the cities. But with the problem in the rural areas, it's crazy, because at least in the city, maybe you're seeing something, you're seeing somebody hustling and making money. In the rural areas, there's nothing. There is nothing. You're just there. And okay, at least before they will know, okay, they will go to farm, they'll get their food. It might not be plentiful, but at least they will eat.
Yeah.
So it's a long, hard life. But now you can't go to farm because there's headsmen or bandits there, disturbing your life. Everything is upside down. The little thing that you have for yourself, if someone is taking for you, you say you want to come to town now, police now will disturb you. I was reading about, was it cocoa farmers or was it tomato farmers are talking about how when they get their crops to market, how it takes them so many days because the policemen on the day that there's the market, they just set up so many checkpoints that you will spend the money you spend on the checkpoint is even more than what you will get from what you have sold your products. And because there's no refrigeration, they will just delay you there. Your crop will spoil, so you have to pay. Those levels of frustration. So just to go to your point, there's so many different ways we can do that. Something like that is a great idea. Another great idea maybe, but as you said, it's about bringing people into the government structure and then making sure cash gets directly to people. So expand NYSC. That would be my own idea. NYSC now is for only university graduates. Let it be for everybody above the age of 18.
Yes.
Say for this next set, everybody above the age of 18, if you're in university, is when you graduate. If not, when you've left secondary school, if you're not in any other form of training, you enter into NYSC and you spend 1 year doing whatever. If you've only left school with no skill and you can't read, can't write, that 1 year you're doing some sort of work, whether it's manual, whatever it is, but you're also bringing your education up to standard and learning a skill. Let it be, if I make it 2 years, and then expand it again and say that 2 years now, we can expand it to 5 years, and you can join the army, you can join the police for 5 years.
Yes.
That
Yes.
bring them in, and then after the 5 years, you'll be very clear that after the 5 years, there's no pension, there's no nothing. Maybe you just get one lump sum at the end, and that's it. Everybody go. You use that now to bulk up the army, bulk up the police. You bring young people into the fold. They're now part of the system. Most young people are very patriotic naturally. So you bring them into the system. Everybody will scatter around the country. They get to know themselves. You get young people. So now the only people who maybe are very one Nigeria amongst the young, and maybe those of us who went to federal school or went to university outside our
Yeah.
area, because we have seen other Nigerians and we see that as an Igbo man, I can see that an Hausa man doesn't have horns. He doesn't, he's just a human being like me. All of us that went to federal school, that's one of the
Yes.
best ideas in this country. Federal school where we all mixed. We saw ourselves as human beings. You play, you fight, you joke. Till today, we're all friends.
Yeah.
So that would be the best way. But bringing, or not the best way, but one of the ways, just bringing in people, bring the youth in, use them as a resource, employ them, get all these vast funds that we're borrowing everywhere, and then make sure that it's a subject. Every single contract you sign, for example, for railways or whatever it is, you're going to say that it's a requirement that you're going to be creating jobs for Nigerians. There'll be some technology transfer. There'll be something else, and then that way, even if you say we'll sustain this program for 10 years, it will have a multiplier effect. Because even if
Yeah.
you've taken a youth, 18 years old, taking him for 5 years, giving him a job, a salary, training, he's still sending money back to his father. He's still sending money
Yeah.
back to his people. So that thing you're doing is still affecting people back home. but it's what people want to hear is something magic. We're bringing a satellite, a spaceship, a this that will solve all our problems. So it's very difficult to the most useful thing will be if the government opens up. So sorry, the final point I'm going to make is that the government should first and foremost start opening up consultations with the people, and by that I
Yes.
mean at the bare minimum have town halls in every local government. Every local government that is accessible, you have a town hall event where people can now talk about what is their problem, what they need, and then open up consultations in the diaspora.
Yes.
Rather than every day, some people will come and say, "Oh, we're going for." I think for almost 20 years, they've been telling us that they're bringing diaspora voting, they're bringing this, they're bringing that. Let's have real engagement. Let's have real discussions, and it shouldn't be, "Oh, give me your ideas." It should be, "Listen, these are the set problems. We're going to set up 20 working groups for these problems. If you want to contribute this way, and then at the end we'll have what we've done, and then let's make it real, because the problems, people don't seem to realize how bad things are, and it's going to be brutal this year.
Yeah, I like what you've just said because I think it's important to highlight it. Having worked in government, I recognize very clearly that we have what we call the consultation forums, and there is email, so we could send our emails. In fact, government also need questions. Answer the questions and put your name there if you want to put your name. If you represent an organization, you can put it there. Nigerian government have never done a consultation forum. The parliament doesn't engage with us. There's no email that you can send questions to or answer a question. They don't even engage with. And people have argued that the diaspora is part of the problem of Nigeria because it's the Biafra diasporans that are sending money in to equip them. It's the same diaspora Yorubas that are sending money to support the Yoruba nation. It's the same diasporas that are getting involved in Middle Belt as we speak right now. So, do you think that the government need to really concentrate on the diaspora and try and bring them on board as a solution, because if they are frustrated by what is happening in town, they will join with the group that is calling for separation from Nigeria because they can't see any benefit of being part of Nigeria when they know they are even more better than the ones back home, and they are not given an opportunity to be able to use their skill set. So they are now using their skill set they are using against the Nigerian state, and that is the problem that we have. Let me use the opportunity to quickly show a video before we finish in the next 3 4 minutes. We're going to be going offline in the next 3 4 minutes, but I want to thank everyone that have made a contribution towards this conversation because we have to continue this conversation. There is a lot that is happening, and we need to make sure that we deal with it, and that we deal with it precisely because we have a serious issue. Let me show this video. I want you to actually comment on this video. Just listen to this video. I hope it plays. We're having these technical challenges, but I hope this video plays. Um, but what I'm trying to bring out here is that if you look at all the indices and all the challenges that we have as we speak, there's need for a crime reduction strategy. Nigeria does not have a crime reduction strategy. That's a solution that I think Nigeria should look at. How can we reduce crime? What are the kind of crimes that Nigerians are facing on a daily basis? Let's rate them 1 to 10 and then how do we deal with those crimes? If we could have a crime reduction strategy, I am confident that we'll be able to resolve most of our challenges. Because if we say there's kidnapping, I will come up with kidnapping reduction initiative. Part of it is giving people job, giving people ID so we know who they are. Criminals are being monitored after probation so that they do not get back into the life of crime. Those are the kind of things we could do. We could also look at management system. I cannot understand how tension in the community will be allowed to continue until somebody picks up arm to go and destroy or go and kill somebody else. We need to be able to manage tension issues and to find solutions. If we know there's a tension in a particular area, let's go and deal with it. Let's talk to the people. Let's bring stakeholders together and talk about it. We could also talk about diaspora security injection, inject diaspora skill set into the issue of insecurity in Nigeria. Let's deal with it. Let's deal with it. Let's bring in the diaspora. There's a lot of people. You heard what Chidi was saying. You had, what my other brothers were saying. People that have lived in the diaspora that know what the challenges are and how to resolve it. Yet Nigerian government is not engaging them, and I cannot understand it. Honorable Abike Dabiri has been doing our best to try and get the Nigerian government to engage with us, but it seems as if nothing is really happening, especially from a security perspective. There seems to be a dogmatic intention not to bring in the diaspora, and I cannot understand for the life of me why that is happening. We must have a initiative in place to tackle insurgency by having practical engagement, with people that have grievances. We must be able to engage with them and say, okay, you have a grievance. Let's use the legitimate process through which you could exercise your right as a Nigerian and talk to them and let them feel as if they belong. If we do not do that, then these agitations will continue. The son the go of this world have a genuine reasons. Because if you listen to him passionately, he says, my people are suffering, my people. Why don't you call him and speak to him about his people and say, okay, this is what we will do for your people. This is what we are doing. This is how we are resolving this issue. So that you have a debate with him and actually show that you are actually on top of this. But no, they're not doing that. Let's consider foreign intervention. We know that they are looking at shopping around, but foreign intervention is just not just about bringing machineries in. There are different initiative consultants that could be brought in that could actually help to map out the security challenges that we have. As I mentioned earlier, there's a big difference between, there are things that we can do to prevent war, but once war starts, we are going to be in problem because a lot of people, a lot of countries will be flooded, both far and near. All the Sahel areas, West Africa areas, we have serious challenges. We need to look at it. We really need to look at the challenges that we are facing right now and do something about it. I'm scared because just like Ambassador Ray mentioned, you know, there might be some governors that might be picked up, kidnapped, and people, and they might be working on and there's nothing that will stop them from doing it. Because if an army camp can be overrun and nothing is done about it, then we have a serious issue. If an army camp can be overrun and a governor could be chased, the governor of Benue State could be chased by aides, by what do you call them, armed men who came out to say that they are Fulani nationalists. They came out to say that they are Fulani nationalist group and they wanted to kill him. And they've not yet been arrested to date. Then you know that we have. Thank you so much for joining me. Let me know where you're watching from. Wherever you're watching from, if you're watching from the UK, United Kingdom, because I know that we are live on Facebook, we're live on Twitter, and we're live on YouTube. So wherever you're watching us from, please, let us know where you're watching us from so that we could acknowledge you and appreciate you for watching. I know there are people watching from Dubai. I know people watching from Nigeria. I know people that are watching from the United Kingdom, Europe. Thank you for watching. We really, really appreciate you. Join us again on Saturday when we'll be talking about insecurity in Nigeria and how to resolve it. But until then, thank you so much, for your time. Thank you so much for giving us your time, your precious time to be with us. Well, we really, really appreciate you. I want to use this opportunity to thank our guests have been on, but I've been having a bit of internet challenges. Ambassador Roy, who joined us, a veteran who talked about his life in the military and how, even with his pension is not even up to what he's paying to his driver. Now the pension that they're giving him, not what he's paying to his driver, and people working over here. He have more than 700 people working over him. He's a success story of Nigerian military, and yet, they did not appreciate or bring him on moving Nigeria forward. Ambassador Roy, we're just about to close, so that you came back on, and I just said, let me give you the last statement. If you have anything to say to Nigerians, and you've already said it, we know that if we are political if we are political prophets, we will say that the next 6 months is going to be a serious time for Nigeria and can be the make or break. What will be your political prophecy to Nigerians or security prophecy to Nigerians right now? If Nigerians are listening to you and say, what is the way forward? What will be your advice to Nigerians right now?
Okay, thank you very much for this opportunity. You see, one thing I would like to say is that nobody should allow themselves to be used. Nobody should allow themselves to be cajoled into any kind of criminal activity, especially the one that is against the country, because you don't know the trickling effect. Okay, everybody should try to be disciplined, try to follow status quo, try to be reasonable at all times. Think about the future of the children that we have not born. Think about how our elders, if they have done what we are asking you to do now, what would have been your comfort zone? This would have been the bedrock everybody would have run to stay. So we must behave ourselves. We must look inward. All of us must believe that Nigeria can be better again. Nigeria will have a Messiah, and something powerful, something reasonable will happen to this country. And I will advise that every Nigerian must be resilient. You must protect your space. You must protect your space. You must come together, put your heads together, agree on certain asset control policies in the area where you live. Monitor movements of people, especially people that are strangers in that area, even visitors to your neighbor's house. Monitor them, because very soon we shall begin to see explosions in places that we didn't expect. Very soon you will see large catchments of people with arms marauding through urban centers. Very soon, Nigeria will need us to stand between ourselves to be able to fight against the hydra-headed criminality that our elders have created for us. Thank you.
Now, before you go, let me ask you this final question and I apologize. Why is it that the private securities could not be armed, just like they are looking at in Kenya, to be able to use them to fight this war on terror?
Well, we on that premise, there is an association called ALPSPN, Association of Licensed Private Security Practitioners. The association has together all private security guards companies. It's being regulated by the NSCDC, that is the Civil Defense Corps, and the Ministry of Interior in a larger scale. Now, we have presented, I happen to be the national PRO for the ALPSPN, current national PRO. We have presented papers, we have met, we have gone on air, we have put in strong arguments to say that There's paucity of policing. There's paucity of police officers present. There is the enlarged scope of private security to the nooks and crannies of this country. You must see a uniform guard in the nooks and crannies of this country. And these are under the body of the ALCSPN. We have said, I particularly, I have a tough line on how to arm private security companies. And I don't hide it. I've given that advisory on every public forum I found myself. Why? I don't need to monopolize it. People are dying. Okay, let's look at it this way. We give opportunity to the Ministry of Interior and the National Office of the National Security Advisor, ONSA, to accredit after a psychological check and after a medical check, to accredit ex-service personnel that are between active age and they have clearance from the Military Pension Board and the Ministry of Defense. Both ex-service from the DSS, from the police. There are very large number of youngsters between 40 and 55 that have left all these agencies. They will go to the ONSA and the Ministry of Interior and get clearance to work with firearms. That is phase 1. Phase 2, security guard company. We need clearance from the Ministry of Interior to get certified to carry out armed security contracts. These private guard companies we are talking about, if you like, you can streamline it anyway, but one of the criteria to have a guard license in Nigeria is that among the board members, there must be a uniform officer, commissioned officer. So that means almost every security company, as far as I know, should have a commissioned officer in his board. So this person will liaise with the ones that have been licensed to work with firearms. Now, people are saying private security companies should buy firearms. I said no. They don't need to buy. The government can still put a hold on it. How? You can populate nearest area command with enough firearms so that these guys that have their permit, just like abroad, can go to a security company that has the approval to provide armed men. And they will go to the nearest area command and register with the DPO, the senior police officer there, and their personnel can come there and sign for weapons and go for duty. When you are through with your duty, you return the weapon to the police armor. They will check it, you sign in and you sign out. You know, everybody is a win-win situation, so that the government will still have some level of control. For the instance of beginning it, later we can say, okay, XYZ company has passed competence tests, they can buy their weapons and have their own armory. But for now, the police can still be the armory, the military can still be the armory, the DSS can still be the armory, but private guard company has the approval to secure and guard services, while the retired personnel from DSS, police, army can go to NSA, get clearance so that they can work with us. So in that space of time, we will be able to deploy all these people you are looking for them to join Amotekun. All these people the government is saying, look for retired. Which retired person do you think is ready to work with this government? This government that have a very negative body language. Nobody that is retired will be ready to work with them. Why? Because you are not sure of your life, the penetration of moles, the leakages of information. How do you work? You know? So that is my idea on the private guard being armed. And we hope that they will still reason. Guyana is in South America. They are doing it. Kenya is taking the step. Nigeria is sleeping. I wonder when we will wake up. I wonder.
Okay, at this point, let me thank you, Ambassador Roy, for giving us your time and effort. And for everyone that is watching us right now, I really want to appreciate you. Thank you so much for your time. We've asked the question: is Nigeria a failed nation? Looking at all the indices, all the parameters, and all the things that the government could do, a lot of information have been put out here, for the government to take advantage of. And it's now left to them, to take advantage of it. Ambassador has spoken, Chidi has spoken, Mr. Sheyi has spoken, everybody has spoken. And it looks as if it's now left to them to do what is necessary to move Nigeria forward. Nigeria, we our home and native land. God bless Nigeria. God bless the Federal Republic of Nigeria. And we hope that in the next 6 months, we will be talking from a place of joy and happiness rather than a place of sadness. That is our program for tonight. And it's my hope that you tune in again 3 p.m. on Saturday for the Diaspora Yoruba Couch, where we'll be talking about Southwest. And every Tuesdays and Thursday we do programs which you can join us and be part of us. So until we meet again, God bless you and God bless the Federal Republic of Nigeria, and stay safe.